Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
So the reason why we're here is just to do a routine COVID-19 check.
Okay. Well, you've been in many places where other people are, so therefore being
Well, the people
maybe
that
a super
I usually,
spreader here.
Well, for example, you and I'm standing approximately.
Well,
2
you've got your
meters
mask
away.
on, so you're safe even if I was sitting on your lap, I would guess, but...
No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
So that's why we stand at least 2 meters away from you.
But you're not 2 meters away from each other now.
Because we are exempt from
Right.
public health order and we're both wearing masks.
So you won't be trespassing on my property again without permission.
Okay, so we will head off and we'll keep in touch as far as next steps. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can phone me and let me know what's going on in advance so I can be here. I don't want you intimidating my staff, any of you, ever again. You understand that?
I think from how upset you were Sunday, it's good for you to move on too. So if you can comply, that would be great. That's a win, okay,
A win
for everybody. I think you need to move on
from what?
from having this problem with the lack of masking.
Personally, I will never put one on.
A lot of the charges that are being put forward are not being worded very well, mostly because they're not sure how to word them properly. And in the end, we may discover that some of the charges that have been laid either are not charges in accordance with the laws that have been passed, or the laws that have been passed themselves are not charter compliant and as such cannot be enforced at the best of times.
The first ticket didn't come for about 10 days, and they came out to my farm to deliver it, which was very intimidating. I'm so afraid even to be at home sometimes for who's coming in the yard, you know? You're out in your tractor and you're wondering who's behind you. Like, it's just really scary. And it's the cops that you're worried about. It's just ludicrous, actually. Sorry. I just have to have a second.
Sure. Take your time. Today I'm bringing you the absolutely infuriating, heartbreaking, and frustrating story of the Milden Hotel in small town Saskatchewan. You're going to hear the story from Christine Brown. She's the owner of the Milden Bar and Hotel about what happened to her when she just tried to go about her normal life and maybe just stand up to the Saskatchewan government a little bit. Then we're going to talk to her lawyer, Luke Kupel, and then I'm going to tell you how you can help Christine fight back because she is in a world of trouble. Now, Rebel News has been supporting Christine's fight for her business through our largest civil liberties project to date, FightTheFines.com, where we put business owners, pastors, just normal people who've received a lockdown ticket or a summons or an infraction in touch with top criminal and civil litigators at no cost to them to fight their lockdown tickets in court. Now, getting back to Christine, she was initially fined under the Reopen Saskatchewan Act, which is the Orwellian named act they used to close Saskatchewan. Now, Christine's troubles started off way back in December when she was first fined for non-compliance with the public mask order. She told me that she felt it was none of her business why her customers or her staff weren't wearing masks, and she wasn't going to make them do it if they didn't want to. And she was not going to ask about it either. So Christine was respecting human rights. Now, back then is when I first talked to her. Here's our interview from way back when Christine's troubles first started.
People were really scared at the beginning. And so I didn't have a lot of staff. I was putting in most of the shifts myself. I had one other employee over the first 6 months of things. And then people started coming back. So during the first part of the pandemic, they were coming only for takeout. And and we're a liquor store. We're the grocery store. So all of these little things help to carry us through. we're just everything in town now.
Yeah, and I looked into Milden a little bit before you jumped on camera with me, and it's just a town of 170 people. So I mean, it's got to be tough to make a go of it as any
Mhm.
kind of business in a place that small.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're fortunate we get like a lot of the other businesses in all of the other communities around here closed. We've lost 3 hotels in the small communities in the last couple years too, or last few years. So people come this way. So that's fortunate. So for us.
Now, you have, as of today, as of the time that we're doing this interview, however, that could change because as I understand, the police have just left your
Yeah.
hotel.
Well, I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed over all of that too, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can imagine that's pretty rattling, but you
I walk
have
out of the beer cooler and there's 2 cops standing in front of my face.
I always see a new staff here whenever I come here. So yeah.
Oh,
So Christine, and you said you had a medical exemption?
that's correct.
Okay. Exemption. Okay. And then the staff at the bar, is she a staff too, or?
The girl working behind the bar, she also
Yeah.
has, all my staff have medical exemptions.
All of them, oh, okay. So the staff at the bar right now, she also has a medical exemption.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason why we're here is just to do a routine COVID-19 check,
Okay.
just to make sure the public health order is in compliance at the facility. So that covers the face covering and also the restaurant and bar guideline
Mm-hmm.
that's under the public health order.
Okay.
So yeah, we're
Is there
just
some
here.
reason both of you are here? And
No, we were just traveling together.
oh, okay.
we just wanted to
So how
stop
many
by.
places have you been today?
I don't think that's relevant to.
Oh,
to
none
what we're
of
doing.
my questions are relevant.
No.
So when it comes to transferring, germs from here to there, how many places have you been today? I intend on using all of this in court.
Okay, I don't think that's relevant to
Okay.
our reason for being here. So we're just here to do a check
Okay.
because we've had a history of non-compliance here. So we're just here to make sure that
Nothing's
compliance
changed.
is exactly, it's consistent.
Yes, we're very consistent here.
Yeah, so that's what we're here for. Yes.
But yet you've attended many other places today in other towns and come into contact with many different people. Yet you come into my facility concerned about,
Well, the contact, what do you mean by contact?
well, you've been in many places where other people are. So therefore being
Well, the people
maybe
that
a super
I
spreader
usually-
here.
Well, for example, you and I'm standing approximately.
Well,
2
you've got
meters
your
away.
mask on, so you're safe even if I was sitting on your lap, I would guess, but
No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
So that's why we stand at least 2 meters away from you.
but you're not 2 meters away from each other now.
Because we are exempt from public
Right.
health order and we're both wearing masks.
Yes,
And
what?
you need to be 10 minutes together
Okay.
to actually have increased risk of
Who
transmission.
told you that? Because I've heard it's 15 minutes together, and other places
It
I've heard
was
it's
15
20 minutes, and I've
Yeah.
even heard 3 meters apart. So when they come up with some consistent rules and regulations that make sense, maybe people will feel a little more comfortable
So the
about.
3 meters is if there's 2 groups dining and they don't have their mask on. So
Okay.
that's what 3 meters is for. Can we take a look in the dining area just to make sure?
Well, I'd prefer if we were done with this visit. I think we've been here enough times and been checked and been approved of everything. The VLT room was, I guess, an issue, but I didn't realize we had a problem with, the drink, and so we've resolved that. So I
Yeah.
don't really see why you need to stick around. We've had our chat, and
We do need to just take a look and confirm that everything is still.
yeah, nothing's
Consistent?
changed. It's all
Okay.
the same. So yeah, go ahead and
I
take a.
believe you are recording.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I believe I can also do the same.
you can do absolutely.
Thank you.
It was unexpected. So, I try to be on guard all day, but it's, you try to live and breathe normally. it's really tough.
Yeah. And as I was just going to get to, you have not one, but two $14,000 lockdown tickets. So $28,000, nearly $30,000 in fines you're facing.
So I'll give that to you here. You can read over it. And if you want to just read over it now, if you have any questions, ask you right now. But it's pretty self-explanatory.
I hate my old house. Nothing works. All the windows are taped up. Lily, you stay in. Okay, so are you guys gonna leave us alone now? You know I'm never at the bar, hey? Like Well, I mean, you came in. I was closed. I was doing my canning. I mean, I come in. I do my business. I have people that work for me. So you know.
I think,
Yes,
I
it
think,
is what it is.
I'm not going to really debate the whole concern here, but I think the main issue here is you're the business owner. You have to be enforcing that mandate.
I don't think that's true.
Right? Also, we're not
But-
just picking on you, right? We're going to lots of businesses around here, so don't feel like this.
Well, no, I don't. I don't. I have a ton of support and friends.
That's true.
Tell us how you got the first lockdown ticket.
Well, I don't know how we got it. They came in here around the 20th of December with their cameras drawn, and they figured that we were sitting there without masks on. We were just doing stuff, closing up on a Sunday night. We're only open till 8 on Sundays. So they came in, it was about 8:15, and everybody was just getting ready to go. And I had permanent residents at the time, and yeah, there must have been about 5 of us here. And they said someone had reported us. They were pretty aggressive as they approached us and everything. So, like I said, I was sitting there having a beer, and these 2 police officers came in with their cameras drawn, wondering, where's my mask, Christine? And yeah, so I said, well, I'm sitting here having a beer for one thing. I told them that I am medically exempt and that my staff were medically exempt as well. That wasn't good enough for her, and she pressured us, and yeah, it was really confrontational. So that was hard to deal with too. You know, you want to respect your police officers. It's really overwhelming. I'm sorry. I can't even talk or think.
No, I get it.
It's sort of like PTSD. It hits me and I can't breathe. Sorry.
No, I understand. It's got to be overwhelming. I mean, $14,000 is
28,000.
I know, but just to receive the initial $14,000 fine,
yeah.
What a nightmare. But that's not where it stopped, because then you received another lockdown ticket.
The first ticket didn't come for about 10 days, and they came out to my farm to deliver it, which was very intimidating. I'm so afraid even to be at home sometimes for who's coming in the yard, you know? You're out in your tractor and you're wondering who's behind you. Like, it's just really scary. And it's the cops that you're worried about. It's just ludicrous, actually. Sorry. I just have to have a second.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I feel big and brave, but when I get behind closed doors, I get overwhelmed. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. So they came to your home, which is frightening because they know where you work. They were there. They could serve you there, but they came to your home to serve you.
Yeah.
A $14,000 ticket. That must have been like a punch in the gut.
Yeah, well, like I'm not too worried about it, the fine, in terms of monetary value, because I feel like if we don't fight, we're all going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so nothing's worth anything if you don't fight for your life and your business and your family.
And then you just received now another $14,000 fine. So you're up now $30,000 almost, 28,000 for
Yeah.
just for keeping your business open and respecting other people's mask exemptions.
That's basically it. Yeah. Like I don't forbid people to wear a mask. Everybody has the freedom to do what they need to do. And I even have a sign up that says, if you're not wearing a mask, you have to take responsibility. I already have my $14,000 fine, you know? So I said, I respect the fact, and either way, I'm not the mask police, but apparently we have an entire RCMP battalion of mask police. I mean, that they have time to come here every day and every other day. And yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
Now, you told me when we talked earlier about an incident that happened in the hotel where one of your staff were assaulted and they sent one little lady cop out to deal with it. But they treat you not making your customers wear masks like an active shooter event. You get multiple cops sent for that, but one for an assault on your staff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it hasn't, you know, the customers that have been here and are witnessing all of this over the past 6 months are really like, why are they they didn't even send that many people for the murder in town. They didn't send that many people for my staff getting assaulted. And not only her, there was another man. They were bouncing his head off the concrete by the time Jesse got here. And, you know, I said to her, I says, what are the boys doing? All staying at the office baking cookies and send you out to beat up the big boys, you know, like what's going on here? And I said, and then you guys come out here 3 cars the other day, 3 cars and 2 health inspectors.
You are open, you're part of the public health order. So there is, I mean, we can move with an obstruction charge. We can go that way if that's
What exactly do you want today?
So what we'd like is that the public health order and the reopen plan, the various orders have been out, you know, have been for a while, and you haven't been complying. So our intent today is to just document what the issue is and move towards.
Well, I think you know the issue.
I do know the issue.
Okay, so I don't think that you have anything else to worry about documenting on my property.
Okay.
You're completely aware of everything.
Okay.
There's nothing has changed. People are social distancing, whatever. We're done.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk to the medical health officer because my direction is to move to a closure order because you're not following the reopen Saskatchewan plan and the public health orders.
Okay, what am I not following?
Masking is one, as far as the staff and you as well.
They're medically exempt. I'm medically exempt. What is your problem?
Do you have a
Yes, I do.
exemption? Is that something you're willing to show?
No, I'm not. I told you I'll show it in court, and I told him that in December when he came and gave me a handheld notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we understand each
I have
other
lawyers
to where
on.
we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So you won't be trespassing on my property again without permission.
okay. So we will head off and we'll keep in touch as far as next steps. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can phone me and let me know what's going on in advance so I can be here. I don't want you intimidating my staff, any of you, ever again. You understand that?
Yeah,
You have no right to be on my property as if you're not a customer. I'm doing everything I can to keep people safe. My staff and I are all exempt from wearing face coverings. If they choose to wear it, that's their prerogative. If they don't, they're covered the other way. So I think we're done here for today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
I said, how do you afford all this manpower when all this crime is going on? I mean, yeah, it's pretty insane.
Again, you also told me off camera that you installed more security cameras at your hotel, not because of security concerns with regard to your customers or crime or whatever, but because you want to catch the number of cops that are coming in to harass you all the time.
Yes, because they're very aggressive, and I don't always have my camera on hand. Like today when I was coming out of the beer cooler, I was doing my beer order, and I walk out the door and there's 2 cops. And my bar counter, I'm a small town, small bar, it's right there. And for me, it felt like they were on top of me. They were on the other side of the counter. And I said, you need to leave or talk to me outside. And they said they could be in here. So I walked out the door, and they didn't follow me, at least not quick enough, I guess. So I walked around to my back door and came in the house and texted you.
Yeah. I mean, it's outrageous that you have to live this way, that you have to work
Yeah.
this way, that you've already received $28,000 in fines. God knows if you're going to receive another one just from their visit today. Christine, we've got to help you. We're going to do it at no cost to you. This is outrageous. This is harassment. Like I said, you shouldn't have to live this way. You shouldn't have to worry about cops showing up to your house because you respected people's mask exemptions. So we're going to help you at no cost to you. We're going to put a lawyer in between you and these health inspectors and these cops so that you can just do your job, run your hotel, take care of your staff, create some jobs. And we're going to try our best to take a little stress off you by hiring you that lawyer at no cost to you. We're going to do that through fightthefines.com. We're going to crowdfund all your legal fees. So maybe we can make your life a little less stressful. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's amazing. And you wouldn't believe how, like, I feel it just lifts so much weight off my neck. This has been seriously overwhelming, and it's just nice to know that someone's reporting the truth of what's happening and helping those of us who have absolutely no idea what to do in this situation. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day when I'm getting in trouble for expressing my freedom of Charter of Rights by not wearing a mask. Nobody's going to tell me what to do ever. If I'm not breaking, when has that become a law? Honest to God, it's nuts.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Christine, I don't know what else we can do. We've got to help you. You're such a nice lady in this little small town. And I bet you everybody in that small town is standing in solidarity with you.
Well, we sure do have support. People are very afraid, though. They are. They're afraid to show their support.
So I am gonna give you what's called a warning letter.
Okay.
So that's, and what I will do is.
Why are the cops here and everything?
Well,
I had to show him where you live. He didn't know.
Well, why were you at my bar then?
I was checking on the mask compliance.
yeah, so.
Oh, every day we got to check on mask compliance.
Yeah,
That's
so
got all you guys got to do?
Yeah, so today,
Right. This
Yeah.
is great.
yeah, so today we went in the bar and.
Was everybody complying?
Staff was masked. That was
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're always masked.
Okay, so just bear with me, okay? So this is a warning letter, and it's regarding the lack of compliance with the public health order at the Milden Hotel located.
Who was the other health inspector?
Oli, you've met him.
Oh, he was the last one that came to my inspection? Okay.
It's gonna work much better if I let you take the letter and read it.
I can read.
And essentially, to cut to the chase with the warning letter is a next step if it involves non-compliance with the masking order of staff. An order will be issued, and that could be a closure order. Okay, so this is more serious than what you went through thus far.
Okay, so you guys are trying to get me closed down.
No, they're just trying to do their job, and they have many other things to do. So
Well, obviously they don't.
why don't we just stop talking, read that, and then we'll just pause, okay? So take a look and read that document in your hand. So if you can comply, then we all move on, and the members and ourselves, we move on, and life is good. And I think from how upset you were Sunday, it's good for you to move on too. So if you can comply, that would be great. That's a win, okay?
A win
For everybody. I think you need to move on
from what?
from having this problem with the lack of masking.
Personally, I will never put one on.
Now, fast forward to April. Christine has been fighting with the government for several months, and she's been under near constant surveillance from the local cops and the health authority. And the government named and shamed her after she was hammered with an additional $14,000 fine for failing to follow COVID-19 restrictions. Christine was even called a habitual offender by Saskatchewan Minister of Health, Paul Merriman. Now, at the very same time as all this is happening, she's being publicly named and shamed. She was hammered with a closure notice by the province of Saskatchewan Health Authority. Now, you heard me tell Christine, I promised her some top-notch legal help at no cost to her to help her fight her lockdown fines. But as things got worse for Christine, she's got fines and now a closure notice, we needed to get her even more help. So now we have not one, but two legal teams helping Christine. One dealing specifically with the closure notice, that's Robert Hawks from JSS Barristers in Calgary. And we've got someone else helping Christine fight those enormous lockdown tickets. That person is Luke Kupel from Caritas Law. Here's Luke with an update on Christine's case.
So the situation in Saskatchewan right now is things are very much being delayed by court adjournments due to COVID. The lower priority things, mostly like regulation enforcement, is being delayed or rescheduled quite a bit so that we can avoid bringing people together in the courthouse and risking further promulgation of the COVID virus. So not a lot is happening with regards to any of the regulatory tickets. With regards to the Milden Hotel tickets in particular, we are keeping an eye on them, making sure that nothing unusual happens with them. But again, they're very much just being kicked down the road so that they can be dealt with hopefully once Saskatchewan opens back up.
Now, without giving away too much to the other side, and again, you don't work for us here at Rebel News, you work directly for the client. What is your global sort of macro strategy of how you plan to fight these tickets in court?
Well, a lot of what has been done over the last year as far as COVID is concerned has been very first time, very experimental, even from the government perspective. They're not in an easy position in any of the provinces to try and deal with this situation, whether the medical science or trade requirements or public health requirements are all being balanced properly in accordance with charter rights or not is going to be tough for anyone to say. So the goal right now is to continue to go along with the courts, delaying all of these tickets until some of those issues can be sorted out. A lot of the charges that are being put forward are not being worded very well, mostly because they're not sure how to word them properly. And in the end, we may discover that some of the charges that have been laid either are not charges in accordance with the laws that have been passed, or the laws that have been passed themselves are not charter compliant and as such cannot be enforced at the best of times. So the plan right now is to continue to watch unless the courts or the Crown starts to push back. We're going to continue to watch, continue with some of our charter actions in the larger courts on larger issues. And then once those issues have been settled, the results of that are going to trickle down to the regulatory tickets, et cetera. And I think we're going to see that a lot of them have either not been implemented properly or are attached to laws that aren't enforceable under the charter. So I think we're going to see a lot of them thrown out for that reason. I want to give out a warning.
Okay.
Just a word of warning. It is important for Canadians to stand up for their rights. I completely 100% agree that you should stand up for yourself and stand up for your rights. I do want everyone to be aware, though, that it is very easy to cross that line from standing up for your rights to committing criminal offenses. So you have to be very careful when you are standing up for your rights. Because while the lawyers can protect you when you are standing up for rightful rights, once you cross that line into the criminal offenses, it becomes much more difficult.
Now, here's where you can help, because it has gotten so bad for Christine that she's put the business up for sale. She's basically giving up. She's facing 5 figures worth of fines for not making people wear masks inside her restaurant and hotel. And for context, there are only about 170 people all told in Milden, Saskatchewan on a good day. They're a little tiny place over 100 kilometers from the next biggest city. So who is Christine putting in danger here? And yet, public health authorities in Saskatchewan are hell-bent on ruining this poor woman's life. At Rebel News, like I said, we've been helping Christine all along. We've been covering all of Christine's legal costs, and they're obviously piling up. But we're doing it at no cost to her through fightthefines.com. There's no way that Christine could fight this battle all on her own. So to all of you who have donated already to fight the fines, this means so much to the people like Christine that you're helping. I cannot thank you enough. But Christine's got a real uphill battle, and 2 separate legal teams working on 2 separate, very complex issues. But we think it's so important to stand up to the government when the government is doing things that can not only ruin your business, but potentially ruin your entire life. If you'd like to help us continue to help Christine as she stares down the Saskatchewan health bureaucracy, please donate today at fightthefines.com. And all of your donations there now qualify for a charitable tax receipt through the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you'd like to help us continue to help Christine and the approximately 1,200 other businesses, pastors, and just normal people who want to live their lives, fight their lockdown tickets in court at no cost to them, please donate today at fightthefines.com. And all of your donations there now qualify for a charitable tax receipt through the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund.